time with just 3-second advantage over that Mercyhurst boat. And then a little bit further back was Queens. And then 10 seconds off of Drexel were Oklahoma City and Western Ontario. And Temple, rounding out the pack, was just 16 seconds off of the lead time trial time. And they are underway here in this men's final for the Thomas A. Curran Cup in the Varsity 4. Meanwhile, in the semifinals, Drexel finished 4 seconds out in front of Oklahoma City and 16 seconds out in front of Western Ontario with a time of 6:41. In the second semifinal, we saw Mercyhurst at 6:44, so that gap between Mercyhurst and Drexel from the time trial carried over in their respective semifinals. Mercyhurst beat Queens by 4.5 seconds and Temple by just about 12 seconds. So early doors here, it is Drexel starting to move out into the lead. Really tight racing so far. Check out Western Ontario there in lane 1 with a really nice push to keep themselves even there with Drexel. Looked like Queens out of lane 2 sitting in 3rd. Mercyhurst just dropping back a little bit in 4th. We'll look for them to maybe pick things up as this race goes along. And we can see here sitting in 6th at the moment is this boat from Oklahoma City as they fend off Temple there in lane 6. Those two boats seem to have dropped back. You can see it there. And check out Western Ontario here, just sitting about even now with that Mercyhurst boat. Seems like Queens starting to fall back into a distinct 4th place as Drexel moves out into 1st as they pass by the 500-meter scissor lift cam.
Yeah, that's right. And, I do want to keep an eye on this Queens boat in lane 2 as well. The accolades are aplenty in this crew. I could go on for a long time about their experience. We have what is considered the single speed demon on the Royal Canadian Henley course. Jackson, who's the bow seat regarded as one of the fastest flyweights in Canada. And many accolades here, U19, lots of U19 racing here in this crew. The coxswain also very experienced. The Queens lightweight women's 8 who earned silver at the Ontario University Athletics Championships last year. This crew, again, overall, I could go on forever about their accolades, but my point is they're extremely experienced, and I have a feeling a very strong second half of the race. This crew knows how to put a good race plan together. So we're going to keep an eye on lane 2, but right now it is still lane 3, Drexel, who is in the lead. And then flanked just a little bit here by Mercyhurst, Western Ontario, and again, Queens. We're not writing off.
Yeah, so just a little storyline I'm seeing develop here. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but Drexel now with the lead here in this men's Varsity 4. They already have the win in the men's second Varsity 4, the men's second Varsity 8, the men's third Varsity 8, and the men's Varsity 8. So the men's varsity heavyweight categories kind of looking down the barrel of a Drexel sweep here. And 1,000 meters down here for the lead boat from Drexel, Western Ontario, Queens, and Mercyhurst. Look at that, still pretty close together for 2nd through 4th. Maybe give the edge to the Western Ontario boat.
Yeah, that's right. What a race shaping up here between Queens and Mercyhurst in lane 2 and 4. I'm going to give the advantage to Queens here, but not even by a bow deck. It's really that close. And Western Ontario still trying to walk away a little bit. They've brought the rate up a little bit over Queens. So we'll see if Queens throws something back at them. But right now it is still Drexel in the lead, bow to stern, over Western Ontario, Mercyhurst, and Queens. But again, we're going to keep an eye on these 3 crews for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th because right now it is so even. Western Ontario, again, with the slight advantage. Queens really starting to make a move on Western Ontario in lane 1, and then Mercyhurst saying, don't forget us over here in lane 4 because they're trying to make a move here and have not been able to be shaken by Queens in lane 2.
Yeah, interesting race out of Western Ontario as it appears that Queens boat is starting to overtake. What a move out of this Queens University boat as they have now pushed themselves into 2nd place. Western Ontario finished a pretty distant 3rd from Drexel and the Oklahoma City boat who sits in lane 5 off the picture. They were 12 seconds behind Oklahoma City in the semifinal yesterday. So just an interesting wrinkle here to see this Western Ontario boat through this 3rd 500 now really competing for the medal stand. And as I say that, it does appear as though Mercyhurst and Queens are starting to drop Western Ontario off of their stern decks here. They are taking a few seats into the final 500. It's Drexel by open water over Queens, Queens by a bow ball over the boat from Mercyhurst, and now Western Ontario beginning to drop back as these boats take it up a notch.
Yeah, that's right. And this is kind of what we predicted from Queens, as we know that they have such an experienced crew here. As we've said, so many of them have raced for Canada. Also, fun fact, Nigel, their co-captain, who we saw race a little bit earlier in the day, will be wearing Oakley Meta glasses and is actually will be recording this race, so we can watch that later. You know, who knows? But for now, our beautiful live stream here is showing Queens really starting to make a move again on Mercyhurst, starting to walk away. This is a very patient crawl towards that gold medal. And again, they are still in silver, and I'm not sure that Drexel is really going to let this one go. But a really great move here and push from Queens in Canada.
Yeah, you can see those buoys just turn red there as we switch to our finish line camera. Mercyhurst looked to be trying to make a final push back into second place. Nice shot here of our lead boat from Drexel. We'll see if any of their heads start to turn to the right as Queens was making a push on that inside lane. At the moment, they look pretty focused inside their own race. Really starting to ramp this up.
Here comes Drexel at a 39.40. This doesn't even look like a 39 or 40, so they're sitting up a little bit, but you can tell they're dialed in. Look at those shoulders starting to slouch just a little bit, and they're punching the legs as hard as they can. That's a sign of a good sprint. They put some good work into this race. So it's going to be the Drexel Dragons in lane 3, charging hard by lane 4, Mercyhurst.
Oh, wow. Looked like Mercyhurst got their bow ball out in front of that Queens boat. So a great sprint out of Mercyhurst. We'll see if we can get official results on the screen as they populate. And looked like Western Ontario finished things up in 4th there, followed by Oklahoma City. And there are the official results.
Yeah, everyone keeping us on our toes here, and sometimes just out of our view, off the screen or off the camera or out of sight, a very exciting change happens just like that. So really keeps us on our toes as well up in the tower here, but some really tight margins in this race.
Yeah, so Drexel again winning a